Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Chaos and Company. I am here with my friends Anna, Mark, Tyler, and Jordan. And today we are talking about everything RuneScape. Right now, RuneScape 3 is doing its first ever leagues. And there has been a lot of discussion. There's been a lot of changes. And we are all very old. Veterans, of course. We're not old, but old veterans of RuneScape. All of us have been here for at least 15 plus years. So we've all been around the block per se. So today we're going to talk about what's changing as of recording this on September 23rd. We're going to talk about the news from old school RuneScape and RS3, and then we're going to talk about some personal things that we've gone through in the game. So we are looking at poll 85. These things have been implemented into the game, and some of these things I have feelings about, and other of these things I don't have any feelings about at all. So the first thing is bridge over less troubled waters. Are you tired of that pesky bridge near Frankenstein's mausoleum mocking you? Well, now you can actually repair it. All it takes is 59 construction, 12 teak plates, and 56 nails. Once built, the shortcut requires 69 agility. Nice to cross. It should make trips more convenient. Be careful though, you'll need to repair both sides of the bridge before you can safely cross it. Tyler, I know that you had talked earlier that this impacts you and you have feelings about this. What are you feeling?
I wouldn't necessarily say that this impacts me per se, but this is one of the things that starts to feel like we are bridging away from old school and becoming our own thing.
Bridging? Bridging.
We're bridging. So with this specific piece of content, what this is referencing is the bridge near the Frankenstein's mansion in Mauritania, where there's a clue step, medium clue step to do an emote clue near some graves. And traditionally, how you would have to get to this step was you would have to run through the area where you go during the quest to, typically in the past, you would go and fight experiments down there. It is a bit of a long run through there to get to the other side of this island. But this is essentially turning that into a shortcut. I would imagine this has been something that a lot of people have been, complaining, asking for quality of life for, but similarly to the long run through the goblin maze under the observatory, this is intended to save a lot of time, but does, in my opinion, kind of lead towards losing a little bit of that old school charm.
Okay, I could see that. Mark, Jordan, Anna, do you guys have any thoughts?
I, for one, am all for adding new shortcuts. I think my favorite thing old school has done that I really wish RS3 would do was the hard clue up outside the Ogre City. And old school has a mid-level agility shortcut up there. RS3 stuff to run all the way around. And it's things in that vein that I really like seeing them doing. I don't think it takes away from the old school charm at all. You're still running around doing clues. You just maybe don't have to run quite as far, not out of energy quite as often.
So I would say it kind of follows the trend that old school has been going, because we've got recently they added clue, what do they call them? The clue roll cases where you can have up to five stash now. But I don't really care, I would say, overall about this update, mostly because yeah, it's nice that you can have it. I'm not a big fan of the way they're doing it, having these high level stats to build this bridge when it's a medium clue step.
Yes, it's a medium clue step.
59 construction and 69 agility for a medium clue step seems kind of high for me, and this is also coming from an Iron Man's perspective, because that's mostly what I do is just Iron Man game modes. Honestly, by the time I'm doing medium clues, I think I don't even know if I'd have 69 agility at this point. But I also don't think I like having to do all this just to get to a clue step. It would make sense if there was maybe one more thing over there to do, but it's just a clue stat. So it's nice that it's there, but at the same time, I feel like it's a little silly.
I think it's targeted probably more at like the clue scroll collection log hunters than actual mid-level players who would be like out there getting medium clues randomly and doing it. So I kind of see where the requirements came from, but
Yeah,
I get
fair.
the Iron Man perspective for sure.
Yeah. I guess there's nothing stopping somebody from still making the run through the experiment dungeon, but I don't know.
Why don't they just give us Surge and call it? I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Yeah, surge over the bridge.
Or the fun, like, forward tumble thing, where it just looks like someone's just gonna wreck themselves. So the next topic, unless, Mark, did you have anything to add? I didn't hear you speak up.
I'm all for quality of life stuff. Like, I do know that there's a good portion of people who don't like things like that. But for me personally, like, this game's a grind, and we all
Yeah.
play it for the grind. But I don't think there's anything wrong with cutting out a bit of extra, you know?
I think I will agree with Mark here. It kind of reminds me of some of the changes that they've made to Pokemon over the years, where it kind of cuts down a lot of the grind to make it not as grindy, because I have to remind myself that, like, we are all adults and we have jobs and we don't get to play games as much as we used to, and even on weekends we still have responsibilities. And so stuff like this that's not game breaking but does save a little bit of time does feel nice, you know. And with the higher skill requirements, I do see from the Iron Man perspective that, like, that does suck, but also at the same time, right, like, it's not making it inaccessible. It's just if you happen to have all of those stats, it just makes it more accessible. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I also don't want to be a RuneScape boomer, and we can make changes to the game.
Right.
That's fine.
Absolutely. This next one I don't think anyone's going to have any issues with. It's the Fremennik Sea Boots. You now get teleports based on tier. So tier 1 is 1 teleport per day, tier 2 is 3, tier 3 is 5, and tier 4 is unlimited. I feel like that kind of follows the rest of the formula of the other teleporting items.
Yeah,
was it
exactly like
before?
Artie Cloak.
Yes. Yeah.
Was it 1 teleport before?
Yeah, I think it was
until
just
you got...
it was either 1 or 3. I don't remember. I don't have them all the way upgraded, but
I've had elite boots for like 3 years now, so
yeah,
I honestly
RS3 has
don't
been
remember.
about unlimited teleports forever. Like the Artie Cloak has the precedent on Old School of being unlimited teleports if you get elites done. So I feel like it's smart bringing them in line for about the
Right.
same amount of work.
Yeah, this is a much needed thing from the start. I don't know why when we added achievement diaries, we didn't keep this consistent. I know when they added it, there like wasn't a lot to do necessarily in the Fremennik area. Like there wasn't Vorkath, there wasn't Vorkath. What else? Is
Basilisk
there?
Knights.
Basilisk
Oh,
Knights.
true.
That's true. But now bringing it in line is this is the quality of life that I like.
It's also nice that you don't have to, like, there's so many things in this game that you just kind of memorize as you go along. And it's nice that it's consistent of, like, okay, well, this item does 1, 2, 3, 4 on A through D, but this one on A through D, they're actually all different numbers, right? So it's nice to have some sort of cohesion and consistency instead of being like, okay, which one are you again? So, moving on to something that I have no stake in at all is desktop shops match mobile. I don't play on mobile. I just get way too frustrated. Mark and I played some mobile old school RuneScape when we were in Germany because we had downtime in between trains and buses and stuff. But like, I have no stock in the mobile game at all.
As someone who doesn't use Runelight, that's going to be a life changer for me on leagues. Because like buying runes, selling runes for Tackle is such a big part of leagues
Gotta get
upgrade,
that
gear
Onyx.
upgrade progression. And yeah, I would literally have to switch to mobile so that I could buy without killing my hand having to right click continuously. So I love this. This is gonna be so nice for me next year for old school leagues.
True.
Yep, very nice.
I do agree. We need to get away from interfaces on mobile and interfaces in main game being different.
Right.
And you essentially have to learn two different AI or UIs if you want to, you know, play the game in 2 different ways.
Right.
So like
I'm
streamlining is a good idea.
And phones aren't new, right? Like back in the day when like they would have mobile games, right? Like the UI would be so different, but like phones have become so mainstream and they've been around for so long, right? That like this shouldn't take this long to match the UI from point A to point B. I'm glad that all of you who are using mobile are getting that change. But like now that I'm kind of sitting here and marinating with this, I'm like, God, that took a long time. So this next one impacted Tyler and I very recently in RS3 leagues, is the ropes are on Backstory Falls. Once you've completed both Waterfall Quest and the Kandarin Medium Diary, ropes will now be permanently secured at Backstory Falls. That means no more realizing, and they spelled it with an S because, you know, it's the UK, that you left your rope in the bank only to drift helplessly downstream in a puddle of soggy shame. Tyler and I went to go to the Waterfall Dungeon to go kill a fire giant in Kandarin, which, as of recording this, I was able to kill one in the Bremerhaven Dungeon, and I got the task, so haha. But we were like, oh shit, we not only needed ropes, but we also needed the amulet, and so one less thing to have to carry around, I feel like, is always nice. And I also feel like, kind of what Mark said earlier, this is not game-breaking, it's just a very nice quality of life thing.
So I think I'll say with this one, I think they could have even gone farther. Because to me, it sounds like this is trying to make people feel less bad about doing something on accident. They could have just made it, like, permanently there after the quest was over in the first place. But this is also fine, too.
Absolutely true.
But the rope only becomes stronger after you've completed the Waterfall Quest and the Medium Diary, Jordan.
Yeah, I don't know why the Medium Diary needs to be...
I don't know. It's like Mainscape, if your main has already done Kandarin Medium Diary 10 years ago, I assume, you know? Like,
right.
Again, this is this kind of, you know, it's a similar thing with the bridge to me, that one less kind of old school quirk. But,
yeah. It's another step away from old school for sure. But
it's memory of the past. It's a quality of life thing. You know, I'm not going to be mad that I don't have to bring a rope anymore. You know.
Very true.
What am I supposed to do with my emotional support rope now?
I have a stat that my stocks of ropes are falling because of this change.
Dude, this is what Big Rope and Galenor wanted.
As a chronic forgetter of everything I need, I really like this.
Very fair.
Very fair.
Like, I'll remember either a rope or the amulet, never both, when I need to go in there, and it always leads to face palms.
At least in old school, they did remove the requirement to, like, have the amulet to go in there.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah, so I was so confused.
Put it on every time.
In the RS3 league, when we tried to go in there, when we both fell out of or like I at least fell out of the waterfall because it didn't have the amulet, I was like, what are you talking about? The quest is done. Nope.
Yeah, I had no idea that you didn't need it on old school anymore. That is actually a really cool bit of information.
Super fun, super unfun fact about the Waterfall quest already being completed is that if you get an easy clue before you unlock the clue relic, there's one that requires blue flowers. Because the quest is already completed, you do not get any mithril seeds, and you would have to do Legends quest to complete an easy clue scroll, and that feels so bad. So this next one, I don't really have any stock in, because I'm not really sure where this place is. It says the Harmony Island Herb Patch is now permanently free from disease. Any herbs planted there are guaranteed to remain healthy until harvest, providing a reliable location for your herb runs. I don't have any opinion on this. So does anyone else here have an opinion on this?
I think this just brings it back in line with the other unlockable herb patches, because they're all the other ones are disease-free, like Weiss and Troll Stronghold, and I mean even the one in Hosidius is disease-free, and it's an unlockable one as well. So
what Hosidius is not disease-free from is that song.
And this one has such high requirements that I always assumed that it was disease priority because it does require the Mauritania Elite Diary to use.
Elite Diary, that's insane.
That's it.
Yeah,
That is insane.
I thought it was hard for the longest time, and then I finished the hard, and I was so proud, and I marched up to the air patch, and it's like, nope, you still can't use this.
Oof.
Yeah, and for context, Reese, the Harmony Island is the island that you visit during the quest, the Great Brain Robbery. It's also the quest that you get the barrel chest anchor from.
Oh, okay. I see. The anchor that gives you scoliosis. I see. For me, I have a very interesting take on this now that I've heard all this information. I don't think it's a bad thing for you getting rewarded for doing something quote unquote difficult. Right? Like,
yeah.
I've never seen that as a problem. I actually really hate the opposite of when you do something really difficult and then, you know, you kind of have problems that you have to fix. We could talk about this later in the podcast, but like something I've kind of noticed as we played RS3 is like the amount of degradable equipment is kind of insane. And I kind of think sometimes where I'm like, man, it would be nice to be able to do something really difficult and like not have to worry about this breaking or having to pay to fix it because it was already so hard to get in the first place. But we could talk about that later in this podcast or a different one. But that's kind of my thought on that of, you know, hey,
I
you
agree.
did something difficult. Here's a prize. Here's a reward.
It's a good topic for another time, yeah.
And the last topic is the Hunter Starter Pack. I don't think this is bad literally at all because
Nope. Good for new players.
how many...
Yeah.
I mean, we were all there when Hunter started, right? I remember going all the way up to Fremnik, right? And going and, you know, catching the little winter kebits, right?
Oh god, I started catching birds down in the piscatory or the.
Oh, see there, see the very different experiences there, right? But I just remember like the closest I've ever come to like Final Fantasy 14, like being on patch where everyone's doing the content together, right? That was me with Hunter. So like I know the ins and outs of Hunter because I was there when it was written, which, right? Like, you know, but I couldn't imagine just being like, yeah, just go figure it out, sweetheart. You're doing great. Oh, mommy's so proud, right? You know, like that could be so overwhelming, especially because there's birds, there's kevits, there's animals, you know, there's giant animals that you have to jump over pits for, you know, like there's butterflies. So I think this is really good. And
yeah,
with all the WoW streamers coming over, it's definitely getting a lot of attention to new players. So if we can help the new players out with
better new player experience is always good.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Reese, are you familiar with the Gillinor Guide?
No.
He is an NPC that only appears in Lumbridge if you state at the edge of Tutorial Island that you are a new player completely.
That would probably be why I've never seen him or knew of him before.
Yeah, so he started, or he's an NPC that's related to the Adventure Paths system. The Path system it's kind of like tasks in terms of leagues where you get told to go reach level 5 in fishing, you return to this guy, and he gives you a fishing rod and some free fishing bait. Or you go and you're told to go reach level 20 in attack, and when you do that, he gives you a free mithril longsword.
Whoa. Okay.
So this is kind of following that trend of like Tutorial Island is iconic, but it is not a reflection of the main game.
Right.
True. Very true.
And if people haven't done Tutorial Island right before, they don't know, like, hey, you want to try to get all your skills up to level 3 before you leave because there's infinite amount of resources that are all readily available, and you can do this right now and get a nice little springboard. Right, but people don't know that if they've never played before or they've never read anything about it.
Yeah. So, you know, it's falling in line with that, but more of since Hunter is a pay-to-play skill, adding more tutors that give you stuff to do. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. So that is all for poll 85. We'll move over to something that I'm excited to hear Jordan's take on, which is sailing. So they have sailing slayer creatures, unique drops, and more. I would just like the record to stand that I did not vote for sailing. I'm not upset that sailing happened. I'm super thrilled that this happened for all of you, even though my tone does not convey that. I just really wanted shamanism, but it's fine. So we
To preface
have
the shamanism thing real quick, we might get shamanism later. It's just not happening first.
Right.
So don't hold your breath on getting shamanism anytime soon, but I think you can still expect it.
Yeah, don't hold your breath for long periods of time, folks. That's not a good idea.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Tyler?
Yeah, just kind of springboarding off of that. People are, obviously hesitant to allow Jagex to make a new skill, and they're worried that whatever they do is going to be some kind of problem. So if sailing gets released and it's a great skill, they may, the community may be more likely to agree that, hey, we might be able to do something good with another skill at another time.
Gotcha.
And I feel like it's more likely to happen in old school too because of how involved the community gets to be with all of everything.
Everybody's got opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've seen so many people being upset about the meme skill, and I'm just like, I don't know. I think it's cool. It's like player on ports in RS3, except for you actually get to go do it instead of just like sitting in your port and sending your boats out.
True. It is. Everything about this is better than what RS3 tried to do with a sailing style thing.
So
exactly, and I'm excited about it.
Right. As far as the Slayer creatures go, it's a bit mixed between new things and mixing some RS3 monsters into the mix here. I'm not super familiar with RS3, and the only one I definitely know off the top of my head is the Strike Worms are from RS3. Are there any others that are specifically related?
Right.
Well, that one's already out.
Aquanites in this poll are also from RS3.
Aquanites, okay.
Yeah, Aquanites are at the end of the Frost Dragons.
Oh, and Frost
Aquanites are located at the end of the Fremennik Slayer dungeon in RS3. Instead of that, extra Kuresk. Yeah, Kuresk are there, but they added an area after Kuresk.
Yeah, the next room after is Aquanites.
Ah, okay.
And they drop an amulet or a range amulet that's kind of lame for when you actually get to them, if I remember right. But they drop a lot of seeds. They're an interesting monster. I actually just unlocked them on the League.
Is that drop reminiscent or a leftover piece of let high level mains get items for low level mains?
Kind of feels like it, yeah.
I have a lot to talk about for that, so we're not going to talk about it here. Granted equipment in old school, but
what a terrible
I think it's cool.
You have.
They look pretty cool. I think they've done a good job at least conveying an old school look to them. I'm looking at the RS3 ones, and I mean they're similar, but not exactly. So.
And the range offhand concept for it is honestly an interesting one. Like having an offhand for a crossbow, that's cool.
Yeah, we get this is a defender for crossbows, which is
I'm actually kind of really excited about that. I'm not the most well versed in what stats actually do, to be honest with you. I just kind of go on the wiki and say, oh, that the wiki says to have this, then I should have that. So I'm not too sure about what the stats do for this, but the the crossbow firing twice, that sounds good. And then I assume you stack that with the effect from the Kandarin Diaries, with the crossbow procking.
Bolt spec increase.
The bolt spec procking. I wonder how
we leave that to the numbers nerds.
Yeah.
The DPS nerds will tell us if that's good or not.
Yeah, they'll eventually let us know what it actually.
Double enchanted ruby bolt spec on a boss just kind of sounds nice though.
I mean,
Yeah.
at this point in time, like the only other option you have is what, a fucking shield. So I
Basically,
think
yeah.
it's automatically best in slot.
Yeah, it's there's only 3 shields that increase your range damage, and they're all fairly late game or wilderness locked. So
I mean, you could take your handy dandy god book with you, you know. Get a
yeah,
little
but that
bit
doesn't
of
increase
prayer.
your damage per se. That's a slight accuracy increase. Whereas this technically gives a 1 range strength bonus, which isn't insane in most builds. But obviously, with the 10% chance to fire twice, is technically a DPS increase. So,
surprising no one, I have to interject my own point here that's completely off topic, but Jordan just reminded me of it. Something that's always pissed me off about old school RuneScape, and I've played this game for so long, is the fact that the security stronghold boots give bonuses to melee. They give a -1 to range and a -3 to magic. And I don't understand why.
I don't think I knew that.
In free to play, you already can't get anything good magic anyway. Why in God's name did we have to give them a -3? It's Marc has heard me complain about this so many times because it just doesn't make any fucking sense to me, Batman. I just don't understand. So, but you were just like, a +1 in range doesn't seem like a lot. Those old school players who are free to play would kill for a +1 on their fucking ranges because those boots are taking them down. And it's just like, I just don't get it. But kind of looking over this, we have these new monsters called the Griffins, which is an interesting way that they took a seagull and mixed it with a lion. Also, the superior griffins look like they have seen the horrors of the days. Also, there's apparently a Tortugan race, which reminds me of the Spanish word for turtle, which is tortuga. And these things are fucking eating these people. So apparently that's what you're here to help with. And they have a couple of unique drops. There's a Horn of Plenty, which you like make out with the bird beak, and then that makes a noise. And
I hate this design. I hate it.
It looks like you're blowing feathers out, and like I don't know where that bird's mouth has been. I'm not trying to like blow or suck on that. So, and then they made a boss, which is the Shellbane Griffin, which drops a very cool, I believe this is in the Estoc family. Is that how you pronounce it? That specific type of sword family that has the handguard for the dueling swords. So you have the Gleaming Rapier, which I will say, like, in the concept art looks very, like, I'm not going to write home to my mom about this. The stats look insane, but it doesn't look super cool.
This makes me very happy because rapiers are my favorite style sword. And obviously we only have a Grazi rapier in old school. So I'm happy to see more. I want them to put more rapiers in lower level stuff, just to give us a bit more options for using stab as an attack style, because stab is used, like, we don't use stab. You just stick with a slash weapon the entire time for low levels, because the scimitar is king. So it'd be nice to see a rapier at a lower level kind of compete with the scimitar.
And it looks like
That's
we're
where
going to have a
Pokemon comes
griffin
from.
pet as well.
Moving. Sure. I mean, pet.
Yeah. Moving
That
on.
sounds fun.
Moving on to these little cuties. They're called Aquanites.
We just finished talking about the Aquanites, actually.
But I'm looking at
We
them.
jumped up.
And look how cute they are. At least the normal one. He looks like the best boy. Like, I would
They
feel
are
really
cute and
bad
derpy,
killing
for
one of
sure.
those.
It
And
is pretty adorable.
that comes with the Aquanite Tendon, which is what everyone was talking about with the crossbow defender. They're also bringing in the lava strike worms. I fought my first ever strike worm ever for the wilderness event, which was something. So I know that this is pretty cool for those RS3 fans. And
So for old school, this is nice because it looks like it's going to count as a worm slayer task as well. And I know people either love or hate worms, so that would be nice to have.
Yeah, an interesting alternative.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You don't have to just kill worms. You can kill strike worms if you want.
Also,
You can kill wormlings in Varlamore.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, if you just want the tats to go away.
Yep.
Also, apparently they're going to be adding strike worm bones, which are in between worm and dragon bones. So, that's something.
Do they have like
And
a mechanic to them that makes them interesting, or are they just kind of kill?
They look from the concept art. It looks like they have the dig mechanic that RS3 strike worms have, where they'll like dig down and pop up under you.
Okay, interesting.
Because they
So
have like the down concept art. So I'm assuming it doesn't say.
less AFK than regular worms then, but very interesting.
I will say the normal to superior looks very unimpressive compared to the other ones we've seen today. Like
Yeah,
Sometimes it's
your
just
boy.
a bigger one.
yeah, the
Bigger
superior
and
one just has
slightly
bigger
spikier.
nose.
Bigger fangs.
Yay! More fangs, more fun. And then we have frost dragons.
It looks like a
Frost dragons.
retextured blue dragon.
Yeah, all the old school like basic dragon models are fairly similar, so I'm not surprised that they didn't go unique model for this guy.
Yeah.
They are adding another new thing where you get frost dragon bones, which are in between lava dragon bones and hydra bones. So, for those of you who like bones, do I have something good for you?
I enjoy bone.
Okay.
It sounded funnier in my head.
There's 100 jokes. They're not all going to be winners. And now I would like us all to pick, so they have a community vote on the sailing pet. I would like for you each to take a second and look through these and tell me which one is your favorite and which one is your least favorite. And I will go first because I already have an opinion, as I always do. I love the parrot so much. I think it makes a lot of sense, right? Because you're sailing. Everyone wants to be a pirate. I want to have all of my scars split open because I have scurvy. That sounds great. So give me a parrot for my pirate so I can do that. And my least favorite has got to be the hermit crab. There is way too much going on. Way too much going on there. If it was just a hermit crab with a regular shell, that'd be totally fine. But for the fact that it's like weird ass is holding on to the front of a ship that's in a glass bottle, I feel like that's doing a lot. And I also, hermit crabs outside of their shell freak me the fuck out. If you have never seen a hermit crab out of your shell, I like content warning because it looks terrifying. But yeah, that's my thought. And I'm gonna ask you, what's your favorite? What's your least favorite?
So the absolute funniest thing here is we have exactly the opposite opinion. I am team crab. I like the ship in a bottle crab. I like the pirate hook crab too. Either one of those would make me happy. And I think that old school has enough bird pets. And like, if you want a brightly colored bird pet, go do Hunter Rumors. Go get the Quetzal.
I respect
And it's
it.
like, fuck you, Reese.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. All right, Mark, you spoke up. It's your fucking turn.
So
I swear, if you lie to the audience just to dunk on me, I will not be happy with you.
no, I do like the seagull. I think the turtle is okay as well.
And which one do you not like?
I'd have to say the hermit crab.
In my opinion, I agree about the parrot just like not being what we need. The Quetzal pet already kind of covers it. I like it. But I don't feel like it's deserving of being a Slayer pet. I can actually see that being a quest pet, but we don't really do that in old school.
2 minute skill input.
I like the turtle a lot, but I also don't see that as a skill pet. I see that as a boss pet, possibly some kind of world turtle boss.
Hot take. I hope you agree with me. If we get a turtle pet, I like it has to go slower than all the other pets because it's a turtle.
Maybe.
Yeah, like the Herblore turtle on RS3 walks very, very slow.
Then that would make me happy. But if that turtle's fucking day at the races, then no.
So anyway, the one that I like the most would be the seagull. I think the seagull, it gives off that vibe of the meme of the yelling seagull.
Oh, I do love that.
Yeah, I agree. The seagull is really funny, and I would be happy with the seagull. I feel like there's so many bird pets already that I would love to see a crab.
True. It feels like the seagull would walk instead of fly, so a little bit of a visual difference, but
If it has trash in
either
its
way.
mouth every once in a while from a Walmart parking lot, I would be more happy. Jordan, last but
Who's to
certainly not
say?
least.
So, I'm gonna have to say my least favorite as far as a sailing pet goes is the turtle, just because it doesn't make any sense for a sailing pet. And now Tyler's convinced me that we need a Atlas World turtle in the game, and
Lion
I want
turtle.
a baby. Yeah, I want a baby version of that. So, I really like crabs, both of them. I think I just really like the unique pets. I'm not huge on here's a pet, it's just an animal. Okay, whatever.
Fair.
Don't really like
True.
those that much. I do like the seagull just because the seagull's a pretty iconic RuneScape monster. You know, it's everyone's like one of most people's first things that they start fighting when they're low level. That are chickens. It would be kind of funny if they had like a reference to splashing and it's talking text because everyone splashes on seagulls. So I'd say as far as uniqueness goes, I like the crabs. But I'd be okay. They could ultimately just give us the transmogs like they've done for like several other pets too. So who knows? But I think my vote's for the hermit crab.
okay.
Okay.
A wide range of opinions.
And no one picked the crab with the hook as their absolute favorite. But everyone
He's
else
cute,
but everyone else got picked. So
Yeah, it's cute, but I like the ship in a bottle crab better. Like
Yeah,
as
me
far
too.
as sailing pet and something unique.
alrighty.
That
So
is true. It is the most unique looking one in my opinion.
And it's directly related to sailing, so with the boat in it, I suppose.
perfect. Alright, so that brings us to the end of our old school RuneScape. Now we get to go to Anna's territory, to RS3 news. From the vault, heists and thieving skill increase. So currently,
Oh, I actually have not seen this one yet.
yes, so apparently, Anna, currently the plan is to bring thieving up to 120, but we first want to make sure that we want to make that journey a conversation with you. So let's talk about heists. So heists are exactly what I would think of from like an Ocean's movie. Right, there looks like there's tripwires, it looks like there's booby traps, there might just be breasts, who knows? And it looks like
What?
there are two, boobies, booby traps. So it looks like they've made two sections and a new fantasy for thieving.
Yeah, so
Fascinating.
it appears to be going with like it does bring up the solo together kind of aspect of it, where it seems like you do heists with other people, but what they do is not impactful of what you do. So it's more like you see what other people are doing. You all kind of make progress, but it's not a requirement. It's not like a raid where you are ultimately achieving a goal together necessarily.
So,
It's
to me, it kind of gives
Perilous
us.
Moons.
I was thinking
Yeah,
like
I was gonna say
sepulcher
yes.
vibes, content-wise, just
Oh,
from
yeah.
the little bit they showed.
Yeah.
So Polker Moons? That actually sounds really cool.
Whoa.
Also, something they're adding is core thieving content. So there's going to be new NPCs to pickpocket, and I have some feelings about these. There's going to be approximately 30 new pickpocketing NPCs, including Vire Lords, Archaeology Professors, Wizard Tower Mages, Fairy Traders, and Gobies? Geobies?
Oh man, I would want to pick a Gobi's pocket. They're too cute.
I have thoughts and feelings on this as someone who going from old school RuneScape to RS3, just magic is insane. So for those of you at home, I am the big magic guy of our friend group. Of like, I will just froth over it. I don't care how bad it is. I'm gonna do it. Right? Jordan is the other big magic guy, but Jordan will kind of deviate if he wants to. And for me, I'm like, no, this is what little Reese would want. This is what large Reese is getting. And the fact that we could pickpocket wizard tower mages and possibly get runes would be super cool. Like, I would love that, because I think, the rune stall, isn't that, like, level, like, fucking 60, 70? It's very high up
75?
there.
At least old school
And
75.
it takes forever to get there. So I think it's cool that they're adding these things. I'm not trying to pickpocket vampires' pockets. I don't like being over in Mire Ditch area at all. Like, I'm not trying to be there. I'm not trying to stay there. I'm not trying to, try some local cheese or anything. I don't want to be there. Tyler, I do have a question for you as our archaeology fan. What do you think you would be getting from archaeology professors?
Probably the stuff you get from caches.
I would hope,
archaeology materials.
Maybe a chance at some chronotes, or like the stuff the buffs you can buy from the shops. Like those be the rare thing on the drop table. Would be fun.
True. Yeah.
Does that devalue any architecture or archaeology stuff? Or
Not
is that
really.
a bonus?
No, absolutely not. No.
A lot of the materials are ridiculously high right now because the only people who actively gather them are bots.
Yeah, so
This would
adding
be a
more
fun
Or Iron Man.
alternative
So yeah,
Fair
like
enough.
more sources of materials is cool, and I keep wishing that complete tangent related to archaeology. I keep wishing that they would like give you the option to turn in tomes for chronotes, because like I've been 200 mil archaeology forever. I get tomes every time I have to go like do archaeology whatever for a quest or like for a task or anything, and I always get like 10 tomes and I'm just destroying them and it feels bad.
Yeah, it's true. Something to do with experience stuff after you hit 200 mil would be nice.
I think something funny that I just came up with for fairy traders is I hope that you get like prank shit. Right? Like fae stuff. Right? Like some of the stuff is good and some of the stuff isn't. For anyone who's ever played Kirby Air Ride, it reminds me of like what I'm thinking of is that event where, hey, some power-ups are fake and some of them look very similar to their real counterparts and others look egregiously different and kind of like, how did you fall for this? So I think that would be kind of cool, just because like one of my favorite places in all of RuneScape is Zenarius, because of just like the weird shit that'll happen, right? Like there's just a choir behind you or it just starts raining, right? Like I feel like there's not a ton of places in a lot of video games where they leaned really hard into the Fae aspect. It makes sense because the game is from the UK, right? And the whole Twee aspect. But I do find that very funny, right? Of like a thought of like,
yeah, no, I
this
love
is
the
fake.
randomness of Xanaris. Feels like they could really be silly with some of the stuff, but who knows if they'll actually like just put stuff that already is on drop tables in them, because that feels like something they might do.
It also looks like they're adding high-level stalls in Zenarius, Darkmire, and Menaphos. And they're going to be adding chests in 15 locations.
They're gonna go in that market, you think, in Zenarius, where we have to pay a diamond to get into, or outside of it?
Probably in the
probably
diamond area.
Yeah, I think they'll probably put more content in there.
That's cool.
Because they added safes to it, and I actually don't think it costs a diamond to get in on RS3 anymore, because I remember just walking in to do safes.
Whoa.
Wait.
I was going to say, because like my thought process, Anna, was like if it still did cost a diamond for them to be high-level stalls, I would understand it being in that area. But if that diamond cost of entry is gone, then I wonder if they might actually put it in the other section. So...
At the same time, that's the market, and there's like no content there, so it would be a good place for them to put like thievable stalls and thievable traders.
Yeah, I agree.
Speaking of an RS3 place with like no content, Tyler took me to some Ash place the other day. It's
Ashdale.
Oh, Ashdale.
It's like
so pretty and so vacant.
It's so gorgeous, and it's just like almost spooky at how like lacking in like people there are. Right? There are NPCs. Yes, it's very plastic.
Was very briefly a tutorial, and then there's one quest that goes there now, and after that, the only reason that you ever go back there is to do a weekly boss that gives you little bonus XP pearls. And I feel like they're missing such an opportunity because it is absolutely gorgeous, and they could like fill it up with actual NPCs and put a bank there and like a bunch of stuff after the quest. After you, it's like you saved the town and it's still a ghost town. Because I walked through there to unlock the lodestone.
What are we saving here? Like we saved what?
I walked through to
Brenda and her
unlock the
2 kids?
lodestone, and there was like a really cool little smithing area, and I'm like, I would love to sit here and do my smithing training if there was a bank.
Right. It also felt kind of Final Fantasy 14-esque with like how nice it looked. Like I can't get over it. I was like, wow, this place is gorgeous.
It is
like,
absolutely pretty. It's like one of the prettiest places, and I'm hoping that they take inspiration from that in the new continent they're working on, of how pretty that they can actually make this game.
So
I will say, coming from old school, I do like what the environments look like playing on the League.
Holy volcano, Batman! They went all in on the Kranja volcano and the Tazar area. Like, damn, did they go hard?
Shout out
that.
Mod Black Witch. She has been spearheading updating a whole bunch of like old areas and free-to-play areas and graphically updating while trying to like keep the spirit of the old areas. And she's been doing a spectacular job. The art team has been doing a spectacular job with all of these reworks. Like, it still has the RuneScape charm, the RuneScape feel, without looking like it came straight up from old school and has just not been changed in 20 years.
Also, while we're talking,
they should go full in on it.
I was gonna say, while we're talking about pretty stuff, this is my first time ever getting to go to Prifendos, and my God, that place is gorgeous. Anna and I had a fun moment yesterday where I got the Ring of Trees, and I just made myself a giant inconveniencing maple tree in the middle of Prifendos, which is hilarious because nothing there is that color of red. And I was just like, Anna, do you think they notice? And she's like, they definitely notice. These elves definitely notice that you're not here. And I'm like, damn it. Like, but it's so gorgeous. But like, man, the elf quests are... Oh. I would never thought that I would say that I'd much rather do vampire quests over elf quests, but like the Morning Daughter quests, I can't do it anymore, man. So, and for those of you not playing RS3
Morning's
Leagues,
End quests?
What'd you say?
The Morning's End quests?
Yes.
Okay.
Did I mix up Mountain Daughter and Morning's End?
You
I probably
did.
did. Hell yeah.
There is a doctor involved in the Morning's Ends quest where, like, you deal with Elena a lot in the beginning, so I'm like, alright, I see Brain Reese.
Thank you.
Moment.
Thank you. Man, I hated the legacy of the throbbing seer gazer as much as the next person, which Anna politely informed me yesterday that I add more words to that quest every time I say it, and I can never remember. It's the legacy of the seer gaze.
Legacy
of seer gaze.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Take out all the tha's and you get it right.
Okay. I used to say the legacy of the seer gazer, and it was like, honey, that is not what it is. And I'm like, okay, I'll get it this time. Proceeds to not get it this time. So, I had some questions that I cooked up for you, my wonderful, beautiful friends. I would like all of you to share with me at the exact same time in tandem what your most memorable, quote-unquote, impactful drop has been over your career. If you would like to split it up into main and Iron Man and leagues, you can. But I want you to, like, think about those moments of, 12-year-old Marc, or 17-year-old Jordan, or 21-year-old Anna, right? Like, even though you've played this game for so long, what still sticks out to you? And I would like to start with Marc.
Okay, I'm gonna go with two different ones. This one is gonna be, the first one is on my main account. I got a Basilisk Jaw on my first Basilisk task after they released the Knights. And at that point in time, I'm not sure how much they cost now, but they were like 23 mil. when I got it, and I decided to make the helmet instead of selling it. But I couldn't believe that I got it that quickly. It was insane.
They are 18.7 mil.
Hot damn. I mean,
That's
it's a lot more affordable.
right, but I mean, still, I mean, it's still up there though.
And that was also
Yeah, it's still a really cool drop.
That's a cool drop. That was also the period of time where the mechanics of those Basilisk Knights were different than they are now too. They were significantly more difficult with the superiors and everything than at that point too.
Oh, the superiors kicked my ass whenever I ran into them.
Do you mean superiors? And then what's your other drop?
My other drop was getting one of the vouchers in Raging Echoes, because I'd only ever I felt comfortable doing raids at that point, and granted this was leagues, but still, like, getting a T-bow was fucking sick.
I'm sure it
Yeah.
was.
It's an awesome drop. Yeah, it was the first of us to get one too. So
Yeah.
And some of us didn't get anything. But I'm really happy you shared those. And also, I think it's cool, right, that even though that item was so special to you, right, like, it didn't plummet to 60K, right? Like, that still is 18 mil. That's still a lot of money. So
Yeah.
But thank you for sharing
Still relevant.
those. Jordan,
Yeah.
you're next on my list.
So this is coming from me, who thinks pets are stupid. I don't care about pet drops in the game, in old school specifically, because they don't do anything. I wish they did something. But in the very first league that they did in Twisted League, I ended up getting a Bloodhound pet drop from my first Master Clue on the very last day of the league.
Oh.
cool drop.
And during my first group Ironman account, I also got a 1 KC Bloodhound on my group Ironman. So not
That
only did
doctor
I get
really wants you.
not only did I get a 1 KC Bloodhound, which from a Master Clue on Leagues, which was not increased, it's still not increased. And it was terrible doing Master Clues on Twisted League. I also got one on the main game too, so.
If I had a nickel for every time that Jordan got the Bloodhound pet, I'd have 2 nickels, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. I love that for you.
Bloodhound
So
claws.
true.
Dude, there are people who do like hundreds and hundreds of Master Clues and don't get the dog.
Yeah.
They don't
It's-
have that dog
It
in
just
them.
really wanted to be yours.
I can already tell some people are going to be quite upset hearing that from me, but
Yeah.
Some guy just snaps his keyboard over his knee as he just looks at his yarn map full of every single way to get these clues done faster.
He looks at his second monitor and it's just the dog.
It's that picture of Dexter with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's like, I failed you. It's like, no, please get in there. Do another master. You'll get it this time. Jordan, is there anything else you'd like to share?
and I would also say I ended up getting a Wyvern Visage on that same group Iron Man, like at 60 something Slayer, like very low Slayer level.
Slay.
Wow.
So pretty lucky on that account, honestly.
Well, there you go. Anna, you are next, my friend.
All right, so mine. I spent a lot of years not really killing anything outside of Slayer and kind of begrudgingly doing Slayer, but then this big new boss came out and it was Calfight King. This was back in like 2013 or so. And I was in a friend's chat then with a bunch of people who were like, hey, let's go figure out how to kill this new boss. So we went and we were doing 10-man masses because at the time that was the max that could go in the instance. So we were doing 10-man masses trying to figure out mechanics, and I remember it was like release week, and we had finally figured out how to kill this bug. Despite just playing roulette with people getting insta-killed constantly, we had finally figured out to kill this bug, and we got our first big drop, and it was in my name.
Oh.
It was a Dragor mace. It was early enough in the release of it that the GE price was set at 500 mil. I think it sold for like 650.
Wow.
It's like 65 mil splits when the max money it ever had was 17 mil.
Hell yeah. Currently,
I actually screamed. I may have screamed something like, oh my god, what the fuck, or something like that, which led, I was 23, I had recently graduated college, I was staying with my parents for a little while I was figuring out where I was moving to, so I was in my bedroom in my parents' house and screamed this, and my mom comes running up the stairs like, are you okay, what happened?
You're like, Mom, I've never been better.
I tried to explain it to her, so I just said, I beat my game. That's what it felt like. It felt like I absolutely won.
And Anna just closed her laptop and she's like, we're done. We're good. Two fun facts. Drygor Mace is currently sitting at 23 mil, so still up there in price. And Anna also, Calfight King released on January 14th, 2013. Nicely done.
Wow.
Yeah, and then a Narago later that year too, I believe, because that was my entry into bossing was KK and Narago. And now I call myself a confident enough PPMer.
Gotta start somewhere.
Perfect. Anything else, Anna?
Nope, that's it for me.
Tyler.
Sure. So around, or is it in April through June of 2015, there was an NPC they added to old school RuneScape that supposedly from Zaya. His name was Big Mo. And Big Mo was this really, really tall guy that changed positions every day throughout old school, and every day he would sell you a clue scroll for 50 GP. And it was, a big community thing. They'd post a hint of where he was on Twitter, and everybody would run around the game and try to find him. And he would give you anywhere from like an easy to an elite clue. And through those, this was, I don't know, I'd been old school for 3 or so months at that point. Like I just started doing membership after finishing Dragon Slayer in old school. And one of the clues was a medium clue, of course. And from that medium clue, which took the better part of an evening to do since, still low level, was Ranger Boots. And those Ranger Boots being, think around that time, 20 to 30 mil, was what got me addicted to continue to keep doing clues.
Hot damn.
So it really just kept me addicted to the game. And springboarded me to, then the Slayer log, it keeps track of how many of an NPC you kill, and I got to quote-unquote lots of killing cockatrices.
Oh, wow.
Medium clues, which is over 60,000 cockatrices.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shit, dude.
And ended up getting 3 addition, or like total of 3 Ranger Boot drops over 800 or so medium clues. But that one NPC was what springboarded me into just getting fully addicted to the game.
I love that.
nice. All right, and certainly not, the least, but I am last. It is me. So, I am the unlucky one. Shane Top says something from Smosh about luck, where he thinks that you have certain luck in certain instances. Like, some people are really lucky with parking lots, right? Like, you always know that one person who always finds a good parking spot, but they have terrible luck in something else. I have really good luck, much to Jordan's demise, at pulling Pokemon and Magic cards. He gets the benefit from the Pokemon cards because I just think they're neat, and he collects them. But the amount of bullshit that I've pulled from packs is great. Where my luck is lacking is in RuneScape. So I don't have a ton of huge drops. But the first one, speaking of springboards, was I always struggled with money because Magic has always been expensive, right? In old school, because you've got runes, and death runes have always cost a lot of money, bloods have always cost a lot of money, same with laws, same with natures. And so I was always struggling with money. And I remember seeing this girl had a scarf. And I said, huh, that looks kind of cool. I wonder how much that costs. And I went to the GE, and it was like 3-something mil. And I was like, oh my God, that's a lot of money. I wonder where she got that from. And you can get it from delivering gnome food. And I said, okay, I've got a few hours. The Ohio State game is on, and I would always play RuneScape during that because I don't like football. And so I delivered gnome food. And I had an absolute blast. And on my 3rd ever delivery of gnome food, I got a pair of gnome goggles, which are the other chase thing that you're going for. And so I was like, okay. And at the time, those were about $1 million. And then I did 2 more food deliveries, and I pulled the gnome scarf. So in the process of delivering food to 6 different NPCs, I now had $4 million on my hands, which had never been there before. And since then, I was able to boost my main into like never being poor again. And so it was such a nice thing where I was like, oh my God, something finally happened for me. Like, I can actually play the game how I want to play the game. And then I will talk about my leagues drop. So here's your fun thing that we talk about is last old school RuneScape leagues, I did 227 medium clue scrolls, and I never fucking got my ranger boots. And that felt really cool, looking at my 12 holy sandals and my 16 wizard boots and all the spiky manacles and all this other stuff. But I, with my wonderful friends here, ran a lot of hard Theater of Blood. And I had never done Theater of Blood before this leagues. And so we learned regular, and then we learned hard. And I pulled the Sanguinesti staff. And some of you are wondering, why is there a bat in the logo? Well, my friend Cynthia was like, oh, Reese loves bats, right? You know, and so here's a bat. And Anna animated the bat so wonderfully. And so this is a fucking staff that has a bat that shoots bats. This could not have been cooler. And I had only ever seen it when Jordan had it, when it was the Saradomin owl. And I hate Saradomin because he's such a fucking prick. And so I was like, oh, damn it, is it only an owl staff? And no, it's a bat staff. And that was so cool to finally feel up there with my friends, right? To be like, I got something really fucking cool. And when we took pictures at the end of the leagues, that was the weapon that I was holding. And so it was really cool to kind of like feel part of the group, right? Just because my RNG is so fucking bad. But like, it was really cool to actually be like, wow, I now know what this feeling feels like that everyone else gets to feel like. Because it, you know, like you're super happy for your friends and that's a genuine feeling. But after like someone gets 3 ultra throbbing mega rare vouchers, it starts to feel really bad when you haven't gotten one. And so it's just like, oh my God, I got to like be a part of the like, oh dude, that's a super cool drop, instead of like, oh, here's another Avernic Defender to shove up your ass, right? So it was really cool to have that moment. And then moving to my next thing, which we're talking about moments, is what is your proudest moment? And that could be a lot of different things. Maybe it's a quest that you did, maybe it's a threshold that you met, a goal. And so I will start, and we're going to go in reverse order. For me, my proudest moment was I earned my Infinity Boots. And I cannot tell you all how painstaking this process is. Of ordering, you know, like going through all the process, getting all the points and getting those. But what was really cool for me about those boots is the fact that like you can't get those anywhere else. Like they don't drop from a monster. You can buy them off the GE, but like there is technically like a finite amount of Infinity equipment, right? For people who have gone through the process of getting those, and they don't duplicate themselves. Right, so all of the Infinity hats that are running around, someone took the time to earn those. Did I buy myself the rest of the set? Yes, because I did not want to spend the time. But it was really cool to be like, hey, this is my small contribution to the history of RuneScape. of like, I brought another pair of Infinity boots into the game, and I love them. And they might not be as gorgeous as the rest of the robe set, which I'm obsessed with the Infinity robe set, right? But like, that was just my proudest moment of like, I fucking did something, right? Like, and Tyler, I locked in. It was really hard for me, but I locked in and I got them. So that has been my proudest moment in the whole game. And Tyler, now I would like to know your proudest moment.
Sure. So going back to the whole clue scroll thing, I love clue scrolls. Back in years ago, there was a Snowflake Iron Man. You may be familiar with other Snowflake Iron Men, like Settled with his Mauritania only, or the various other hardcores that stay locked into a one specific chunk and complete all the content there. Similar concept was you would receive a clue scroll from somebody starting in Lumbridge, and you would complete clues up until the point that you got the casket, and whatever chunk that you finished the clue scroll in was from that point unlocked. And you can only train your skills within the chunk that was unlocked. You were allowed to leave the chunk to go do the steps of the clue scroll, but you could only unlock it when you received the casket for completing the clue scroll. This concept came about from a YouTube creator who I have come to realize today no longer makes old school RuneScape content. His name was Stumpy Nigel. And his account was focused on doing this, and he had a large community of people that would also, do this same concept of accounts, evolving the rule set of, what happens in this situation, what happens in this situation. And one of the things that might come to mind is that there is a clue scroll step that involves you completing or getting a drop from Wintertot, getting the, I believe, legs from Wintertot. But there are no clue scrolls that have a step that could possibly end a clue scroll in Wintertot. So there was a wheel that was spun when you reach certain milestones on the account that you could potentially unlock areas that aren't involved with the clue scroll, but could give you benefits towards completing clue scrolls in the future. And the first one that I rolled was Wintertot. Now, Wintertot is well known for being where a lot of Iron Men go to get their first 99. It's easy fire making 99. You get a very good cape right off the bat, and that carries you through until you get your actual fire cape. So in that community, I was the first of this chunk account to achieve a 99 of those chunk accounts. And that ended up being on their Discord's Hall of Fame for a while, until evidently they ended their, playing of RuneScape, it appears. But for a while it was I held that title in their Discord for a while.
Hell yeah.
I love Snowflake Iron Man.
Yeah.
I could never do one, but they're so much fun to hear about. Have a friend who was doing a chunk iron, and it was just really fun to hear his shenanigans.
Is that what Marc is doing?
Yeah.
A Snowflake, yeah.
Okay. Anna, you're next.
So mine's not necessarily in game, but it's related to game. So back in the day, they would do the player gallery, art gallery, and they would offer prizes for the top 10 art pieces that were submitted that people did to fit a theme and would send in. And way back, they had, I don't remember exactly what the theme was, but it was one that I did an art piece that I'm still to this day proud of, 15 years later, of the Runespan. And I sent it in for this player's gallery, and I was really, really saddened that it didn't even get in the news post. It didn't even get top 10. But later on that week, I got a random private message in-game from a JMod. That was one of the JMods that worked on making the Runespan. And they went out of their way to private message me in-game and tell me how much they loved my art and that they were using it as their desktop background on their work computer.
Oh shit.
I want
And
you to know my jaw
I've
just
been riding that
dropped.
one for years, just absolutely loving it.
Are you cool if like you send that to me and we'll share it on the podcast?
Absolutely. It's actually, so it's my banner on Twitch, so I still have it out there, but I can absolutely find it and send the image so that we can put it up on here.
For chat, or for, not chat, but like for you and for those of you in the audience, I love rune crafting. I love it so fucking much, and that the thought of that is just so cool. Oh, Anna, that looks so good. I just pulled it up. It looks so good.
Yeah, that middle floor Runespan is one of my favorite places in game. It's just so gorgeous. It's so much like the aesthetic I like. I wish I would have gotten to spend more time there, but I was actually high enough runecrafting that I could go straight to the top when it came out.
Yeah. Jordan.
So I would say mine's pretty similar to Tyler's. When Group Iron Man came out, we made Snowflake group accounts, which consisted of not region locked, but we did region locked, I think, on this one. So instead of doing like chunks specifically, we did entire regions of RuneScape, and everyone was given a random task in that area to complete. And you had to rely on your group Ironman teammates to kind of help you finish your task, because you didn't get a new location rolled until after everyone was completed with their tasks. So we were kind of stuck there until we could rotate. And the goal was for everyone to get quest capes while being region locked. So every few days or so, we would roll new locations and swap, and sometimes so we'd have one person roll a random location for themselves, and then we'd have a group location. So our random location might be one person in North Kander and one person in the desert, one person in Zaya, and then our group area could be, Mistlin. So that's kind of how it went, and it took us, I want to say, about 4 months, which isn't that long, but it took us about 4 months for everyone to get their quest capes, and that was probably my favorite thing, is finishing that series.
You say 4 months is not long.
That is actually
long.
So speedy.
And I've never, ever had a quest cape ever. And I'm like, yeah, wow, 4 months. Wow, way to fucking slow down, right? And meanwhile, I'm just like, me playing this game and my main being around for 21 years. And I'm like, boy, we ain't close to a fucking quest cape. You're kidding. So, and Mark, last but certainly not least, what do you got for me?
So I'm gonna talk about my Snowflake account. I have a Varlamore locked account, and when I finally finished the Perilous Moons quest, was, dude, the feeling of relief that washed over me was insane. And it's not because the moons are hard to beat. I had been stuck on 2 out of the 3 moons for so long. The only gear I could wear was like full adamant and a rune mace. So, and that is severely undergeared for those bosses. Most people run around wearing at least barrows to kill the moons. And, there's me running around with a black cape and full adamant trying to kill the fucking blood moon. But when I finally killed the blood moon, like, the relief was insane after finally killing him.
I bet.
I don't have much experience with the moons, right? Because I just ground super hard last leagues for the blue moon gear. But I definitely had the most trouble with the blood moon, especially because, like, if you get out of rhythm, it takes a minute to get back into rhythm, and you've lost quite a bit of health. But more importantly, he's gained way more health back. So
yeah,
Yeah, I just did Blue Moon just did Moon's Quest for the first time in main game, like shortly before the final quest came out, and holy moly, Blood Moon is a pain. I can't imagine doing that in that gear.
Yeah,
I'm over here in
It's
full Bando
insane.
struggling.
and like even after getting my full Blood Moon set, like he's still kind of difficult. Like those fights are such a defense check, and if you don't have like the proper gear or defense levels, like it hurts to fight them.
Yeah, and like the level of healing on Blood Moon is so rough. Like
Yeah.
that
like,
is some gameplay to get through it with a rune mace.
Yeah. Oh wait, I used the mace for the Blue Moon.
Right.
I had sulfur blades for the Blood Moon. So like, it was painful.
That's pretty bad.
I think the cool thing after listening to everyone's stories is just like you hear like the passion, right, of what everyone did, right, and what they were working on. And I think it's cool that even though no matter how many years it's been, right, those like still stick out to you, and that makes me so happy. So that concludes everything that we were originally going to talk about today. Folks, please in the comments share with us what was your most impactful drop. You know, did it help springboard your love of clue scrolls? Did it help springboard your economy? Right? And also, what's your proudest moment? You know, what did you do that maybe you haven't got to share with anybody? And I'll make sure that you guys get to see Anna's wonderful art, because I just looked it up on Twitch and it looks great. So thank you all for joining me today, and we'll do one of these again for you all real soon. And thanks again for watching Chaos and Company, and have a great day.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, like and subscribe.
Oh yeah, like and subscribe. We love you.